receive further updates from Etsy regarding further HCU workshops. So just go ahead and just enter your presence on this link, please. I'll just wait for 1 minute and then for all of you to enter, and then we can go ahead. So while all of you are entering this, I will just go ahead, and before we start the session, I'll just give you a little bit of an introduction about me and my shop. For those people who I haven't met you as yet, my name is Monisha Jain, and my Etsy shop is Dreams by the River. I'm based in Goa, so it's not a tier 1 city, and I come under the category of paper and party supplies. I sell paper products, stationery. I started my shop in 2014, and I've been fortunate enough to have over 5,000 sales on Etsy as of today. I'm one of 4 HCU instructors in India for 2020, along with Shirali Patel, Kanupriya, and Madhulika. And we conduct on a monthly basis, we conduct these HCU sessions on different topics on how to enhance your Etsy shop. So the topic I'll be conducting today is branding. So what we'll discuss under this is how to define and create your brand and your brand promise, how to develop a branded design palette, how to customize the look of your Etsy shop, what kind of packaging and promotional materials to include to promote your brand, customer service and social media, as well as we have a couple of worksheets which you guys can work on later on. So what is a brand? What do you define as part of a brand? Just take a minute and kind of think about it. What would you define as your brand? When you think of a famous brand like say Coke or Bata, what do you associate? What kind of emotions do you associate with it? So branding is basically a promise that you make to your customers. You're defining in one sentence. You're communicating to them who you are. What kind of a personality your business has. Also, you're creating memorable impressions about you, your product, with the customers. So the customers know what they can expect. The minute you have a brand and they buy from you, they know what they can expect from you. I think there is somebody who wants to join. So how do you go about defining and creating your brand promise? So when you want to decide how to define your brand, what to do for branding, just think about these points which I have listed here. Why do you sell your products? What is the story behind you? Why did you start making the things that you do? What kind of what brought you to making these products? The second thing which is extremely important is who is your target market? What kind of a person is likely to buy your products, and what problems do you solve for them? Why would they buy that product of yours? So just imagine in your head who would be your typical customer. Will it be a man? Will it be a woman? Is it somebody in their teens? Is it somebody in their 20s or 30s? What is their family like? Are they married? Do they have children? What is a typical day in their life like? So once you're able to identify who your target market is, then it becomes very easy for you to form your brand around your product. What are the kind of unique features and benefits that your product offers, and also what kind of experience and feelings do you want your customer to associate with your shop? Is it is it a sentimental product, sentimental emotion? Is it a feeling of luxury, or so what kind of emotion do you want your products to be associated with? Once you have these answers, then you need to kind of define your create your brand promise. So it's basically you can think of it like an elevator pitch. It's like a short, concise statement about what your product offers to your customers, and how do you stand apart from your competitors. So when you're defining your brand promise, don't try to be a lot of things to a lot of people. Just stand for one big thing and stand for it in a big way. So what they say is, when you're starting out your brand, just try and if you see the last sentence at the bottom of the screen, just try and fill in this sentence. So every experience with, which is your brand name, conveys, and what does it convey? What is the USP to your customers? So just think about it and try and fill this in, and you would it would help you in your branding. So for example, every experience with my shop, which is every experience with Dreams by the River, conveys the promise of selling personalized party decorations to my customers, that kind of thing. So on Etsy, how do you communicate your brand? There are you can communicate your brand in many ways, but you have before the sale, during a sale, and after the sale. So before the sale, it's in terms of an attractive logo and a shop front. What kind of logo do you choose? What fonts, what colors do you associate with them? What kind of color schemes you're using? During the sale, it's things that matter, things like your item description. How do you communicate your brand in your wordings? Telling the story behind you and your products in your about section, and your photography. What kind of photographs are you using to convey your identity? After the sale, you have things like your packaging and your customer service and communication with your customers. So, to develop a brand design palette, before we start with that, I'll just give you example of 3 different shops on Etsy which we have. The first shop is a shop called Lula Flora. You can see that they are very bright, very colorful, very like a happy feeling kind of a thing. The shop in the middle, which is Calicut Spice Company, you can see that they are trying to go modern, but they are trying to remain like very natural, very earthen. And the final shop is like trying to be very minimalistic. So when you're developing a brand design, the things that matter are colors, fonts, and photography. And we'll come to each one of these. There are some links on Canva which I can email you later for you to read up on if you want to read about choosing colors and choosing fonts. But we'll just discuss it a little bit here. So when you're trying to decide the color scheme of your brand or your logo and your designing, so firstly is for you to try and understand a bit of color theory. What in general, what do the different colors mean? Identify what your brand is, and then you can align it with the colors which are relevant to your products or your brand. Consider what your competitors have, so you don't all look the same. Create a test color palette and apply it to all your branding elements, and then create a brand guideline so your brand looks the same across all entities. So in terms of color theory, I'm sure most of you already know this, but colors such as violet is said to be associated with luxury. Pink color is supposed to be, feminine, nurturing color. Black is again elegance, luxury. Yellow is supposed to be associated with food as well as being cheerful. So you see brands like McDonald's and Subway using yellow. Blue is supposed to be trustworthy, reliant. So you see brands like IBM or Ford Motors using blue. So this is in terms of color theory to try and associate what color will go well with your brand. Fonts, when it comes to fonts, basically the main goal is to be able to have clear communication. You can choose the kind of font that reflects your brand. You can go with something like a serif font like Times New Roman. It's classic, but it's very easy to read. Script fonts are like very stylish. When you are deciding on which font to use, then think about where all your writing is going to appear. Think about sizing, like are you able to enlarge it clearly, are you able to reduce it clearly? So go ahead and try a variety of options before you settle on a font. Photography, of course, it should be well lit shots, high quality images, but the main thing is that you should form a cohesive background to your shop. It should complement your brand completely. The next thing we'll discuss is how to customize the look of your Etsy shop, how you can make your Etsy shop look different compared to others. These are some of the elements which I have just shown you, which you are able to customize when it comes to the look of your shop. So you have things like a banner, your shop icon, your own shop owner icon, featured listings, and we'll just discuss all of this in this session. So your shop owner icon is basically your profile picture. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to, I think I need to admit a few people into the meeting. Just one sec. Sorry. Yeah. So the shop owner icon is your profile picture. The shop icon is basically it represents your shop across the Etsy and all the different pages of Etsy. The shop banner is spans the top of your home page, and your about section is where you can tell your story. We also have things like featured listings, photography, order receipt banners, and shop members. Your shop owner photo appears just below the banner, so it's your profile. So make sure you like choose a friendly picture. I have just shown examples of a few shop owner photographs here. So what Etsy recommends is that it should typically fit about 70% of the frame. Your face should fit 70% of the frame, and you if you have multiple people in your shop, then try and include all the people in your profile picture. For example, we have Abhika Jewels, this is the couple, Abhishek and Madhulika. They have both their pictures here. And if you are a shy person and you don't want to put your picture out, or you want to stay out of the spotlight, then one suggestion is to use a graphic which aligns with your brand. So you see Uma from Pune, her shop is Tropical Paper Company. So this is what she has as her profile picture. And next you have is your shop icon. So your shop icon is basically your logo for your business on Etsy. It shows, this is what shows everywhere on all the different pages of Etsy. So when you're designing your shop icon, the basic things that you need to look at is first, is it easily understandable what your logo is. Try not to make it too too dense or too something where people can't figure out what your logo stands for. Is it memorable? So people should be able to instantly recognize it when they see it on some other shop or somewhere else. So keep it simple and minimal. Can it scale down? If because if you see the shop logo appears in a very small thing, so try and not include too much text in it. And to design logos, you can always use free tools like Canva. Again, I've used examples from 3 different shops. We have Shweta from Little Red Nook in Delhi. Then we have Quirky Cards, who's into watercolor paintings. So you can see her logo represents watercolor splash. And then we have Nishtha from Goa. Her shop number, she sells copper jewelry. So on the elements table, copper is 29, so you can see her logo is atomic number 29. And the reason why I try to use all Indian shops is so that you guys can so it's not like just something that I'm stating out. It's something that people who we know have actually done this, and they are there in your city. Or even if they are not, you can just message them anytime and ask them, how did you do this, or just take ideas from them. So I've tried as much as possible to use Indian shops. A shop banner, you can see, is the most prominent graphic that appears on your shop. There are 4 kinds of banners. You have something called if you have a normal Etsy subscription, you have the option of a big banner or a mini banner. Or if you have subscribed to Etsy Plus, where you have to pay $10 a month, you also get additional banner types, which is the carousel and the collage banners. Again, they recommend that you use text sparingly. It should be, most people actually shop on Etsy on their cell phones. So whatever text you do use should be actually readable when somebody's looking at the banner from a cell phone. Highlight your best imagery. You can experiment with either your product photographs, or you can add colors, patterns, textures. your workspace photographs. Also reflect major milestones. So things like seasonal changes, you know, when it's summer or winter, you can add either products which reflect summer, or photographs which reflect summer, or if you are having a sale, you can add that in your thing. So keep your banner looking fresh, but also don't change it too often, so that, you know, people should be able to identify it with your shop. So here's an example of a shop banner from Kanupriya. Her shop name is Hopping Chidiya. So you can, she's into quilled products and paper products. So you can see her banner reflects that very nicely, and you don't see too much text on her banner. And this is a banner from Shirali from Small Idea. You can see in her banner, without having to look at her shop, you can see what all are the products that she's offering. And these are the regular Etsy subscriptions. We also have the Etsy Plus subscription. So those people who opt for the Etsy Plus subscription, they get an option of 2 banners. One is this carousel banner. You can see the video playing where, you know, the banner keeps changing on its own. And you can see, you can describe your the item that the person is seeing at that particular time in the banner. Or you can have something called a grid, where you can see Abika Jewels are using this. They have a Etsy Plus subscription, and instead of a carousel, they are using grids. They have used 4 pictures appearing on the banner. Also, same Abika Jewels, you can see their shop icon, which you can also put as a banner, is they were Etsy Design Award finalists for 2019. So, you know, your major milestones or accomplishments, you can add it as a banner as well. So you can see the same shop, Abika Jewels, but the banner has an option of looking at additional photographs as well. Then we have featured listings. There are 4 listings. If you have a regular subscription, there are 4 listings which appear prominently before all your items start. So some suggestions for adding items to your featured listings is, always make sure that you have, and although only 4 will show, but always make sure that you've chosen more than 4 items to be in your featured listing queue, so that in case, you know, one of your items sells or expires, you don't have an empty featured item here. Mix and match them. Show different product combinations that you offer. For example, if I am selling party decorations, then I would choose one to be the invitation, one to be the front door announcement, that kind of a thing, one to show the return gifts. So something like that. So if somebody is shopping for a birthday party, they can see all the different products. Again, keep it fresh. Choose either your best selling items or your seasonal items to feature them. And again, if you have Etsy Plus, then you have the feature of mixed grids. So for example, you can see Abika Jewels, they, in their featured items, they don't just have items as well. They also have a grid which shows you 4 different items from one particular section. So they have you can feature sections instead of just items. So here you have them featuring rough diamond gemstones, which is actually, if you see, it's a section that they have, which is rough diamond gemstones. Next you come to photography. I have used this picture from Perpetual of Pebzar. I actually chose this picture because I think it's a brilliant example of, you know, how you should use your backgrounds of your photography in a way which, you know, it's a very cohesive way in which her backgrounds has left. Have been taken. But actually, when I posted this picture, what surprised me was, if you see, every single item in this picture is in somebody's basket. So that was congrats Perpetual on that. So basically what they recommend is that you should give your photographs a cohesive look. You don't have to have the same background in every single photograph, but try and, you know, make it like a complete set. And what it does is, if there is somebody who likes this kind of a look, you know, it's very easy for them to remember your shop and to come back again to your shop to buy this. About section. Earlier we did not have videos on Etsy for products, so the only place where you could put a video was in your about section. So this is, you know, it's very important because it's the place where you get to tell your story, your, you know, why did you start your business, what makes you sell your products on Etsy, what is your background, what is your work passion. So do make sure that your about section is always completely filled out. Show your workspace, show yourself, show your workspace. You know, you are a real person behind this shop. You're not a sweatshop somewhere in China. You're not reselling items. You are actually making them with your hand in your workshop. So show that, because people appreciate it when they see that. You know, if you have a photo carousel on your about section which allows you to post up to 5 photographs. You can also add a video. So buyers will definitely trust you more if they are able to see these photographs and your videos. You know, if you sell fragile items, show how you package them so that they reach safely. If you sell you know, intricate items, show a work in process video, those kind of things. This is a screen that I've just put together to show you all the different all the different customizations that you're doing. What kind of, when you're designing them, what kind of images and what kind of sizes you need for your pictures. So yeah, so the next section is packaging and promotional materials. So packaging is like, you know, it's another opportunity for you to show your brand. It's actually the very first impression that customers get when they receive your product. So even before they actually see the product, they are seeing your package. So make sure that it's something they remember. So it's something that's impressionable. This is an example of a super cute packaging done by Perpetual. It should reflect your brand promise, and also consider the impact and impression it has on your target market. So you know, if your target market is somebody who's very environmentally conscious, then do you want to use plastic in your packaging? Just think about those things. This is another example by Hopping Chidiya. So other things that you know can include in your packaging are things like ingredients you're using in your items, or care instructions, your social media handles, sizing information. Then you have product labels. Product labels are the labels you attach to your products to make them easily recognizable. It helps buyers to, you know, track you down later and give you repeat sales. What kind of labeling you put on your products is something that will depend on what you are selling. So things like maybe stamps or stickers, fabric labels, engraving, or you know, just a paper tag. This is Ashley and Ninoshka's shop, Ninoshka India from Goa. They sell clothes, and here you can see it's a mask that they have listed on their shop, and they're using a fabric label to add their brand to it. Another example is from Ajay from Aldona shop from Delhi. You can see he has engraved his logo on all his products. It's cell phone covers, watch straps. He has a little paper tag which he attaches to his products. Marketing material. What kind of what are you including along with your product in your package? So consider things like, you know, business card, or things like again, Perpetual has included in her package here. She has a little postcard, some stickers maybe. You know, just give an opportunity for your buyers to distribute it amongst their friends, share it with their friends. You know, think about what when you have purchased a product, what are the kind of marketing materials you have received, what did you like receiving it, and think of whether you can include that in your packaging. If you're having say now, like we had I think last year we had Etsy, where a few people actually had physical stalls in Delhi. So if you're having a Etsy event, which is a in-person sale event, then think about things like, you know, little brochures or shopping bags, or if you have signage, then, you know, add your shop and your social media handles to your signage. This is again an example from my shop which I have taken. So, you know, along with things like postcards, stickers, you can either just include a business card or a handwritten note add a discount coupon, or just a little card encouraging people to leave you a review in your shop. And everywhere, just make sure you have your branding on it. I think the last thing is customer service. So when you are interacting with your customers, again, always have reflect your brand in your conversations with your customers. Always have a positive note. Use your brand name if you can during your conversations. Shop policies, you must set your policies very clear, so customers have a realistic expectation of what to expect from you and your shop. And FAQs, every shop you have a FAQ section, so understand who your target market is and what kind of questions they might have, and develop a FAQ section. This is the example I've taken from, again, Abika Jewels. You can see the various questions that they have answered themselves. So typically, how, like, whenever any customer asks you a question in regards to your product, if you feel that is a question that could apply to every product in your shop or to your shop in general, then do add it to your frequently asked questions. Things that things A very typical example is, from Indian shops, only PayPal. It appears on Etsy shops that you accept only PayPal, but PayPal also has a provision of accepting credit cards. So just add it in your FAQs that is PayPal the only method I can use, and then just say, no, you can also use your credit card, and just answer that question. Finally, social media. It's another chance for you to promote your Etsy shop. You can reach more customers that way. So make sure you continue that same brand across to your different social medias handles. You can see the same logo which Hopping Chidiya used in her Etsy shop has been used here on her Instagram handle. And very similar color schemes also going in her Instagram. Finally, I will email you these worksheets after the session. So the first worksheet is for people who have joined Etsy recently, is to analyze who your target market is. So just take some time whenever you can, and fill out this form, and it will give you a better understanding of who your target market is. And secondly is, when you're trying to define your brand, what kind of emotions, which we had discussed earlier, what kind of emotions do you want to associate with your brand? So think of around 20 emotions, and then finally just keep narrowing down till you reach four main emotions, and that will help you identify your brand. So in terms of content, this was most of it. We'll open it for question and answers if anybody has. But just a reminder to do make sure, if you haven't entered your presence just as yet, just go ahead and do it now. Yeah, so that's it. If any of you have any questions, we can go ahead. Hi, Shweta. Hi. Hi. Thank you. Thanks. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so see, the thing of keeping a similar background, it's not like it's not a very hard and fast rule that you have to have an If you don't have, you can't put your photographs. So maybe that's something you need to think about, like what kind of, for your future photography sessions, what is it that you want, what kind you want to stick to, what kind of backgrounds do you want to stick to, and maybe design your photography sessions accordingly. And yeah, and also it's it's not that that if you see your shop front and one photograph has a different background and other one has, I think as long as it's like a set which is happening, it should be fine. It's not a problem as such. And yeah, also when it comes to photography, I just want to say that day after tomorrow, which is Sunday, Kanupriya is going to have another HCU session on photography. So if you guys would all like to join that, maybe you'll get better insights into the kind of photographs to take for your shops. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It is not recommended. Actually, Etsy does recommend that you do not have watermarks or too much writing on your photographs. So, the other day somebody did have a question that if I cannot watermark my photographs, how do I prevent other people from, stealing my photographs and using? And I think Ankush has come up with a nice way. So, suggestions such as you keep your business card next to your product and click a photograph, or if not your business card, at least your packaging which shows your name, your product name. So you could consider items like things like this, or just think about the way in which you can incorporate your brand into your photographs if you want. But as a watermark, Etsy definitely recommends that you don't have that. Yeah. Hi Arundhati. Hi. Thank you. Yeah. So see, the way it works is, this is only for people, it works for people who have a PayPal account from outside India. So it doesn't work for people from within India. So but the way it works is, those people, when they click on shop with PayPal, so they have to go and enter their PayPal ID and login and password. But if they don't have a PayPal account, if they scroll below the screen, there is an option where you can actually enter just a credit card information and pay using that credit card. Okay, the problem is they can use that credit card only to buy something via PayPal like that. They can use that credit card only 3 times. Okay, so no, we cannot make any changes. But what you like, if somebody messages to you to say that, hey, I like your product, but I want to buy it, but I don't have a PayPal account, or I'm not very comfortable using PayPal, what can I do? So then you can write back to them saying that instead of entering a PayPal ID, just scroll down below the screen. You will see where it gives you the option of entering a credit card, and they can make the purchase that way. You don't need to tell them particularly as such that you can only use that credit card 3 times, and after that you'll not be able to do this. That's something so yeah, so that is one workaround that you can do for people who don't want to use PayPal, or who don't have PayPal. Yeah. Yeah. So for example, I actually have this on my FAQ section in my shop. So because a lot of people, if they happen to read the FAQ, then they'll immediately know that, yeah, I mean, I do take payments other than PayPal as well. Yeah. Hi Reena, welcome. Hi, sorry Arundhati, sorry, you have another question? Yeah. Okay, sure. I'll just go through some of the questions that are coming in here. 1 second, just see. So there is somebody asking, my paintings are of size 24 by 36. All are original and handmade. What should be the price? And it takes about 20 days or month to make a painting. So honestly, Monica, I'm not from I don't paint, and I really don't have an idea of what kind of prices you would charge, but what I would recommend is, just go to Etsy and go through similar shops, people who sell paintings similar to yours or similar in your size, and just have a look at the kind of pricing range that they have. I would also recommend that, along with looking at American shops, or shops which are based abroad, also look at India shops that sell similar paintings, so you can get an idea of the kind of shipping charges that they want to charge, or whether they are including shipping within the cost of the painting and including. So just have a look at similar shops. uh, yeah, there is another question. I am from Rajasthan, Jodhpur. Can someone help me set up a store on Etsy? So yeah, I think we do have a Rajasthan team captain. I can. Are you there, Shweta? Is that you? Okay. Hi, hi. So, are you able to see the comment in the chat section? It's from somebody called Royal Leather and Handicrafts at 409. Uh, or maybe if you can just enter it in the chat section about how they can contact you. Yeah, please. Huh? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Does anyone else have any question or comment? Reena, I think maybe you can put your thing on mute. I'm not sure whether it's coming from you or from who is it coming from. But hey, hi, Kanupriya. Thank you. Yeah. No, you're still on, Reena. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 So I think the two best people for this, Kanupriya, is if you look at the Instagrams of Shirali and of Perpetual. Yeah, if you see, they put in so much thought into how they're going to shoot, take any photograph, and also how they're going to post. So if you see Perpetual, she just has a well-defined color palette. Like, she, only sticks to those colors, and no matter what her product is, she makes sure that her backgrounds are in that color. And if you see Shirali, she goes, I think they are the best people to comment, but I'm commenting on their behalf right now. So she kind of chooses, a particular color and sticks to that for a while. So she'll choose green, and she'll make sure all her products are, yeah, everything have green. And then after a while, she'll shift to orange, and then she'll shift to white. So if Perpetual or Shirali are here right now, can I just request you to say a few words about this? Hi, Perpetual. Yeah, please. I will put myself on mute.